this afternoon I'm sitting down with Stephanie Nash, and Stephanie is a singer-songwriter. And you're originally from California, right?
Yeah, Fresno.
Fresno. Okay, and
Yeah.
that's literally a couple hours from where I'm from. So we'll get into that here in a little bit, hopefully. But if you could maybe start out by just kind of telling us a little bit about yourself to get things kind of going here.
Yeah. All right. Hi, Stephanie Nash. I am a fourth generation dairy farmer slash singer songwriter. I do country music. My family has been in the dairy industry for a while now. Started in California, in Corcoran, California, and the last 6 years we have been in Tennessee. We moved with regulations in California and the struggles of being in that state. It was best for our family to move our dairy farm somewhere else. So now we reside in Middle Tennessee, and I watch over the calf management program and a little bit of herd health as well on our farm. And I juggle music on the side.
Great. And how did you get into the music thing? Was that something that you kind of always knew you wanted to do, or just kind of happened into it?
Yeah. So I'll tell you, like I grew up leading worship and going to church and doing I did singing lessons forever. And moving to Nashville, I started to meet people. I wasn't really looking to do music. I transferred from Fresno State and finished at UT Knoxville. And then when I moved back, I started going like out, meeting people. Actually, Charlie Daniels' godson got me into writing again because I've already always written, but not really in depth as much as I thought I could write. So that's kind of how it happened. He was working on the farm and I met him one day and we started writing, and then I just kind of fell into it.
Crazy. So just really kind of a right place, right time kind of thing.
Yeah, it was right place, right time. I know a lot of my family and friends were like, "Well, you're going to Nashville, you're going to be so close." And I'm like, "Yeah, but I'm going for the farm." And then about two years ago, I was like, "Okay, I'm going to do it. I'm going to commit to it." And now my new song's coming out Friday. I've committed to Texas radio along with just radio everywhere. My last single went on 18 stations, and we're hoping this next song will be even more. So
Right. And so this Friday, you have your single is Time Changes, correct? That's the one that's going to be coming out.
yes.
So along with that, you also have another project. And correct me if I'm wrong. I know you have lots of projects going on.
Yeah, I do a lot of things. Yeah.
But Time Changes is one that you have a scholarship with the FFA. Is right, correct?
Yeah. So the scholarship I created as a hope for, I didn't know COVID was going to happen at the time. I had, kind of gotten this together in the beginning of the year, and I was like, hey, I want to do a chapter scholarship. So it's a little bit different. I mean, I know communities will donate to their chapters, but most of the time when you're competing for a scholarship, it's individually as you're going on to college. So I wanted to help a chapter out that needs funding with stuff going on. I know California schools aren't even in, some FFA chapters aren't even meeting. So it's been kind of hard to really advocate for those students to send in videos trying to promote the scholarship, but we do have some entries, and I'm hopeful that we can send some money to the chapters that did submit here in the next 3 weeks. So yeah, it's been great.
Yeah. And where did that idea kind of come from? Was it kind of something that you just wanted to give back, or was there a
Well, I mean, I was never a part of FFA. I was a
okay.
huge, I did 4-H. My school didn't have FFA, but I showed cows. I did the Dairy Princess thing in California. I was young farmers and ranchers, and so I think my heart was, there's so many people helping me growing up to be an advocate and a voice for agriculture. Like I want to give back to those students, and so I hope as the years go by, the scholarship will grow and people will know about it. But yeah, that idea just came from me, like hearing stories about chapters really not having funding. My girlfriend is a teacher in Bakersfield, and I know that she herself has struggled with trying to get funding for her FFA students, and it's a very, not the best area in Bakersfield. And so these kids have the opportunity to know what hard work is and what agriculture is, and I think that's amazing. And I would love to give back to schools that really really need that scholarship.
Absolutely. Yeah, when I saw your project, I was trying to figure out as much as I could about it because I thought it was such a commendable project and something that, like you said, there's a lot of lack of resources for agriculture and FFA. programs. So I'm proud that or excited for you that you're doing it, and I can't wait to see the chapters that get to benefit from it.
Yeah.
Switching gears a little bit because I am also from California originally. I was Northern California, about an hour and a half east of San Francisco. So like Modesto and Escalante
Yeah.
areas, like that's about 30 minutes from where I'm from. Um, but you obviously left California and your whole family left. What was that transition like for you? Moving from California, where agriculture is not necessarily something that everybody supports, that the surrounding areas maybe don't support, and then maybe going into kind of a more agriculture focused area.
Yeah. Well, I will say being in the Central Valley really does bless you as a
Mhm.
person. I will say, like, probably still will be the strongest agriculture community I've ever seen. Not only, was I raised with a dad that was the dairy representative for the state, but I was raised with so many people that really, really wanted to love agriculture and tell the community about it, whether California wanted to accept it or not. It was
Right.
one of the best programs I've ever been a part of. But moving over to Tennessee, I will say they're a lot more opening to the idea of agriculture and learning about it. That's the difference. So California, when I was dairy princess, a lot of people really didn't care, about agriculture, wanting to learn. But here, I will say we had some calves at the Creamery the other day, and people just want to ask questions, which is great because, I didn't get that along California. So transitioning over to Tennessee has been a big difference, mainly weather-wise. California doesn't rain very much.
Yep.
So I think that's been our biggest challenge is like the rain and the weather. I mean, it's 46 this morning. It's like 60 right now. Next week it's going to be 80. So it changes really quick. So for me, for management standpoint for my dad, it's a lot more work here in Tennessee to dairy, but it's a friendlier state.
Interesting. Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, obviously weather impacts agriculture and farming, but not necessarily a big point that I would think of. Um,
Yeah.
and then also you guys just had, or I think you just opened up a creamery in your local area, and that's using milk directly from y'all's dairy.
Yeah, so my brother actually went to a couple classes around the United States, and my dad as well. But my brother makes the ice cream, hand makes ice cream, and we at this point are hoping to do more of our own product. But right now it's just ice cream. We bring in MTSU milk. We have our dairy friends, which they're like right near us at same size dairy farm. They do cheese over there, so we get that from Knoxville. There's some people, down the road that we do honey and local ciders and applesauce. And so coming together as a community and selling other products has been really great for the creamery and for us. And we've been open week 3 and it's just insane. I think people are ready to get out and about and do things. So it's
Yeah,
been nice. Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah, I feel like it's been a hard time to have businesses, but also kind of a good time just because everyone's ready to go and do things.
Yeah. Yeah. We were shooting for July to open, but we're like, I think we're more blessed that we opened the first week of September because I feel like we couldn't have done much
Yeah,
in July. So it was a good time for us to open.
exactly. And for the rest of y'all's fluid milk, is that what the majority of y'all's dairy is used for, is fluid, or is it other products?
Yeah, it's fluid.
Oh,
It's fluid. We ship to Publix here in Murfreesboro, and um, yeah, we got a couple jerseys for the butter fat and all that good stuff. But yeah, we milk about 1,200 head here on our farm.
okay, awesome. And do you guys, I know every dairy is different, but do you guys calve year round, or do you kind of have a specific calving season?
I laugh because that's why I've been so busy. I had 36 heifers last week.
Oh my
So
goodness.
this is my biggest calving year since we've moved here. I haven't had this many calves. And so we calve year round, but like August to the end of September and then November to December
Okay.
are my biggest calving months. I just pray that February is, slow. I
Yeah.
told my dad, I was like, don't breed anybody to calve in February. It's just so cold here. So
Yeah.
cold. I mean, not like, you go up to Minnesota, they got snow, or New York and stuff, but it's just different, especially with our herd that moved from California. The cows that are here, they're like, they don't know what's going on sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And how was the adjustment for the cattle? Was that kind of a big, did they just kind of get off the truck and ready to roll, or was it kind of an adjustment for them as well?
Well, I mean, it was a process because me and my dad talked, and my dad was like, well, I think I want to send some when they're milking. And I'm like, I don't think you should do that. I was in college at Fresno State at the time. And so, like, I was trying to juggle that and trying to pick who could go and who would have to be sold. You know, the older ones weren't going to make it. They stopped in San Antonio, but, you know, it's a 2.5 day drive. And, so it was a little bit of a challenge for our older cows that did come. Um, they were in good shape when they left California, and then we kind of had to like slowly bring them back once they got here. You know, we chose strong cows. All the cows came strong. It was just the ride. So I think that was the most challenging part. And then we had to be milking on Christmas Day, so we did have a deadline. So that was I was out there with like 5 layers of clothes on and milking on Christmas Day 6 years ago. So we're just happy to still be in business and, you know, being able to do what we love.
Absolutely. And
Yeah.
since you mentioned you are kind of the head of the calf management side of things. Do you mind if we talk about the calf side of things a little bit? Because I
Yeah,
know
let's go.
there's lots of questions from people. So maybe from your perspective, what are the benefits of when the calf hits the ground? Why do dairy farmers kind of decide to separate the cow and the calf?
Yeah, so I actually was talking this last week when I had calves out there. I had two babies, 2 days old, and somebody came up to me and was like, "Oh, well, you take the mother away, or you take the calf away." And I'm like, well, it's, you know, for their benefit. You know, we
Right,
don't do it to be mean or cruel. Calves are born with no antibodies. They have to build that up. It's not like, you know, us, we're strong. You know, when we come to a virus and, you know, we've already had it or we're about to experience it, you know, we can fight it off. But as a young calf, they're not going to have the ability to fight off anything that they might catch.
right.
So sanitation is important for us. Colostrum, the mother's first milk, within 6 hours at our farm. We have a nighttime guy. I individually hutch mine. I don't do a calf feeder. I do individual bottles. It's very important to me. I can go in the barn and be like, hey, how was 97 today? How was 64 today? And I know where they are, you know, if they've been sick or if they need to be treated or they're healthy or they need to eat more. So it's very important for me, growth and health, and, you know, that first 2 weeks becoming, you know, bigger calf and stronger calf, building that immunity. So it's very important. Most people don't know that.
Right, absolutely. I think people kind of get caught up in the whole, "Oh my god, you're taking it away from their mom" thing, but they don't
Yeah.
understand the reason why and the reason why it is so important and really to give them the best chance at life, really.
Yeah. I think that was one of the biggest things when I went through Dairy Princess that, you know, other organizations were trying to look bad on a video. You know, you can make anything look bad on a video.
Right.
Um, but the truth is, you know, farmers care. And if they don't, they're probably not in business anymore. Um, it's just the reality of people asking the farmer instead of relying on the internet as well.
Exactly, exactly.
Yeah.
And speaking of asking the farmer, one of your other projects is the Life of a Farmer project, and tell us a little bit about that. I know I've watched lots of your, little videos, and I love learning about other people's stories, but where did that idea come from?
So I've been wanting to do this for like a while. I was like, especially last year, I was like, I'm gonna work hard, fund it, get ready to go. And I think at the right time when I was, you know, doing music and I found like a videographer that was like, yeah, that sounds amazing. He's been 100% my backbone of the project. And I get to travel. Like he lives out up in South Carolina, so he got some farmers from South Carolina to start off the series. And then luckily, I have some of my friends live in Montana. So I got to go to Montana, which was the first rain they've had in 4 months, and it was freezing, but it was
Of course.
so worth it. And I was like, this couldn't be better because they were talking about how long they've been in a drought and they needed the rain. The fires were going close to Bozeman, so they really needed rain for their land. So it was just a blessing in disguise. They're like, you can come back anytime because you're bringing the rain. So I mean, the series is just everything. It's more about advocacy. It's about the truth of the farmer. I want people to see how much we struggle too. Since 2008, I mean, that's the year I remember, even though I was young, is, you know, that's when my dad started to look elsewhere to farm or to sell.
Mhm.
And that's what is happening to a lot of people right now. And so I hope with these videos they grow and grow and grow. RFD TV already picked some up, so I'm humbled that they love the series as well. I got to go on there and talk and sing and just tell my story and tell everybody else's. I'm going to North Carolina and Kentucky in the next 2 months, so you'll be seeing some new states here soon.
Awesome, that's exciting. Yeah, I've loved following along and seeing what you've done through that project as well. So through that, you've done the advocacy side of things. How have you been able to kind of connect your music side of things through also then your passion for agriculture as well? How do those kind of play hand in hand?
Well, I think last year when I wrote Time Changes, it really started. Because at first I was writing, um, breakup songs,
Right.
ballads. Like I'm definitely more '90s inspired country. Um, and so when I wrote Time Changes, I was like, man, I need to write more about my life, like who I am as a person, what my family does on a day basis, what other families that I'm meeting do on a daily basis. And so it kind of came together. Time Changes came last. The other things that I wanted to do came first. And now that it's, here, we're in October, it's about to release. I'm just pushing as many stories as I can, and then obviously the scholarship. I'm emailing schools about the scholarship and as well as the song. We did a music video as well, a tribute to farmers, which will come out. I don't know. I can't give you a date to be determined. But I hope this makes an impact in the agriculture community.
Yeah, absolutely. And being a young woman in agriculture too, how have you found that to be challenging and rewarding? I mean, you wear many different hats,
Yeah.
clearly. So how has that been?
I don't know, because I've never really, I guess growing up, I didn't have too many women agriculture figures in my life. My dad was a huge farmer. All of his best friends were dairy farmers or, other kind of farmers. But um, I think it's more of a, I feel like it's more of a challenge now than ever, especially with FFA students. They talk about, 50 years of women in agriculture. But for me, it's never been, I've never strayed. Like I've never wanted to do anything else with my life. And so for me, it's always just been the normal. Like I'm a woman dairy farmer and I'm proud of it. And I'm the only one out of, high school that, stayed in the farm. A lot of the girls went off, and it's something that I'm very proud of. And I take, joy in meeting other women farmers as well and supporting, all of us together. But I've also been like, I talk to everybody. I love to get, know everybody in stories and, just excel through my voice and through our dairy farm.
Yeah, and I think that's a great point that you bring up. I actually just talked to Sandy Brock from Canada about, she said, I hate to be like a naysayer of movements, but she said this whole women in agriculture thing, like, I think it's great, but like, we've always been in agriculture. And just because people are kind of shining a light on it now, she said it didn't rub her wrong, but it's just a different way to look at it. And it kind of made me stop and think, like, wow, she's right. Like, we have always been a part of it, but maybe just not a strong voice as maybe we are now.
Yeah, that's a thing, because when I spoke at some things before COVID, and I was like, I've always been agriculture. I've never second guessed. I've never felt, undermined or not that I had a voice. I've always thought that I've had a voice. But I think it does help too. I went to Fresno State. It was a huge ag school. Some of the best professors I could have had in my life. And so I think, when you're raised around such a strong community, it makes a difference too.
Absolutely. I think
Yeah.
it adds like a level of confidence as well in kind of what you do in life and as you progress through different challenges.
Yeah, of course.
Social media wise, you now obviously have a large presence, not only with the music side of things, but also all of these other projects you have. How have you found social media to either be a aid or a destroyer in things you've been doing?
I'm so bad about this. And I don't know if it's more because I'm a busy bee. Like I'm so busy. Like
Yeah,
I just stay busy.
I get it.
And Instagram, I'm on it. I post, Facebook sometimes, Twitter. I have one. I think I have like 10 followers. I
Yeah.
don't really do Twitter. And I get like a little bit of backlash from people like music industry. They're like, you need to build, build, build. And I've been working on my YouTube now because I have the Life of Farmer stories out. I really want people to listen and subscribe. That's the biggest thing that I really want to push right now is
Yeah.
those stories. My dad's just came out this morning. And so I've been pushing that one all day. But I mean, it just depends. I don't know. I mean, Instagram's great, but for me as an artist, I don't look at the numbers. I look at the music I'm writing. I look at the stories I'm telling, and I look at like, who do I want to be? Do I want to be posting every 5 minutes, or do I want to be enjoying my life? And then when it's time for people to know my story, then I'll put it out there and let's see what happens.
Right.
So that's kind of been my mentality. And not only that, when I have some of the best people behind me. They believe in me, my mission and my music. And so just to be real, I feel like social media can portray so much negativity. And so for me, it's just been like, I'm just going to tell it how it is. And if something happens, great. If something doesn't, I'm still going to write music and I'm still going to tell the stories.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, I think
Yeah.
if people can understand that you're just being you, then I think they're more apt to connect with you and follow along with whatever you have going on.
Yeah, and that's why I mean I really respect people like Ashley McBride. She comes in and she does her thing. She'll be out and she writes really good music, and it's not even about like the money or the famous life. It's about, you made something of yourself and you're proud of yourself, and with that whichever direction it goes, you're still going to be proud of yourself no matter what.
Right. Yep, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So, just to kind of wrap things up here, what is maybe something, obviously, you get to interact with lots of different people in lots of different industries. What's something kind of like across the board that you would like to share with maybe somebody who's not as super familiar with agriculture about the agriculture community or industry?
Ooh.
I know, it's kind of a
That's
hard
a good question. Um I mean, the first thing I'm going to go back, don't believe everything you see. That's the biggest thing. I've always been really aggressive, even at fairs and stuff like that, with people knowing the truth. My
Mhm.
dad's always been that way. He just got done with a Tennessee dairy commercial, how people need to respect agriculture in the 24-hour 365 days a year. And things aren't always perfect. You're going to have down cows, you're going to have, like I said, sick calves, you're going to have people that sometimes aren't on your side, that people that abuse, and you're going to have those people. But if you got a good head on your shoulders as a farmer and you try, I mean, my dad's been out cutting, he was out doing hospital this morning. Like, he cares. We care as a farm. People care. You don't see it in the internet. You don't see that side of it.
Yep.
So if anybody's listening, talk to a farmer before you just look at the internet.
That is great advice. I could not agree more with that. Um, Stephanie, I want to thank you first of all for your time. I know you had a busy schedule and we've had challenges connecting, so I want to thank you. But then also, where can people find you and connect with you, kind of across all of the forms of whatever they can connect with
Oh
you?
yeah. All right, Stephanie Nash Music on Facebook and Instagram, and then you can go to Stephanie Nash YouTube. I know there's a couple of us, but go to the Life of a Farmer. You usually can find that. We're on episode 5, and then I think that's it.
And
Yeah.
then by the time this airs, your song should be live and out.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
So
So
all
Time Changes comes
yeah,
out this Friday everywhere. Like, stream it everywhere. I know pre-orders going on right now. But yeah, Time Changes, Stephanie Nash, go listen. Please, please, please share, because I wrote this in my driveway on our farm after reading a article about California dairies and farmers in California not getting paid for the bullet train, and it's happening everywhere. I went to Montana, land is getting bought out by investors. It's happening in South Carolina. So it's time for us to raise our voice a little louder and advocate for agriculture.
absolutely. And I'll also link that as well in the description box, episode box, all that kind of stuff. So you should be able to find it no matter what platform you're listening or viewing this on. Like I said, Stephanie, thank you so much for taking time to chat with me. I really enjoyed it. And I hope you have a great rest of your day and that everything goes well with the new song coming out.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. I had a blast. I love doing this.